Alright, here to collect some flowers, and I'm on a nearly random spot in my yard, and you might see some purple bits right in front of us, and we'll zoom in and get closer, and there's some likely suspects right there. Zoom in a little tighter, and there we have. These are common violets, and you probably have them in your lawn too, which makes them an excellent subject for today's lab, even though they're not a super, simple generic type of flower, but that makes it more fun. Typically they are purple, that's why they call them violets, but if I just zip on over here, we'll see that there is in fact a white one, or at least a white and purple one, and that's one of the kind of neat things. Hey, there's an ant in there. Hey, buddy. Yeah, that's one of the neat things about violets, is that they actually come in different colors. Alright, so now I've got my flowers here on a working surface, and again, the first thing you should do is look at, or read very carefully actually, the little guide to scientific illustration that I have posted on Moodle. So let me take one of these guys here, and the first thing I'm going to do is draw just an aspect from the side. And it doesn't matter that I can't see all parts of the flower. In fact, a lot of the parts would be quite difficult to see because they're inside. So we're going to ignore that part for now, and I'll do my first study of this flower. And since, it's kind of long and skinny this way, I'm going to orient my page like so. And just, I'm not the greatest artist in the world, but I'm just going to freehand this. And I don't even really have to draw all the petals on the thing. Just going to do that. And I see the major portion. Okay, so there. And I'm just kind of sketching my lines out now, and I'll darken them back in later. There's kind of a little bump that sticks out the rear end there. And I've got a sepal here, and a sepal there. And then I've got a big, well, see, I'm going to have to use my eraser. No guilt, no harmony erasing. See, I should have started bigger. It's already going to end up too small. Well, I'm going to draw this petal nice and large. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. And there's another petal, the lip, if you will, coming down there. And we see that it's not half bad. I could draw some of the other petals in the background, but I'm not going to bother. So basically, there's my side view of the flower. I want to draw some contrast here, so actually I need to fill in my little stem. And I'm not that happy with how that turned out. Okay, so I'm going to make the sepals, which are green, look different through stippling. Right? So what I'm doing now is stippling, which is what we do in scientific illustration instead of shading, which is what you would do in actual drawing, right? If you were pencil sketching something, you would use shading, which actually looks really nice, but for reasons that we can't go into, you don't do that. Now I kind of have my lines. Let me just check them real quick. I pretty much have them where I want. I'm going to erase some of the strays and darken them in, because scientific illustration should look like a line drawing, right? A drawing made of lines, not of little itty-bitty sketch marks, which is the way I always start out. If I wanted to get fancy, I could draw some contrast here with the, outer portion of the petals being dark, but I don't think I'm going to do that. All right, now I'm going to label. So labeling is very simple. You draw a single line to the object, right, with no arrow or anything. So this is going to be stem of the flower, right? I didn't darken that in, did I? And this is going to be sepal. And this is going to be petal. And there's really nothing else that we can identify from this image with great certainty. This little butt sticking out here could be part of the ovary, but I'm just not going to go there. We need to put, I'm going to put my name on it because I drew it. And today's date, which is 8 April 2020. And this is what I would call a lateral view, even though it's kind of an animal term, of common violet, Viola sororia, which should be underlined because that's a genus and a species. And the last thing I need to do is to establish a scale, right? So we know how big it is. So if I measure the whole flower, it's 2.2 centimeters. Let's go. Gotta find something convenient. Okay, so if I go from the end of the sepals to the lower lip, that's 2 centimeters. So that's basically here to here. So I'm going to do this, which is kind of super easy, semi-cheater's way. I'm going to use a little drafting technique here and draw my lines like so. And now we can put little arrowheads on there. And there we go. One is done. Now, next task is to, let's draw another perspective, and we're going to go looking straight down the throat of the flower. I have no idea how this is coming out on the camera, but there, if we look down straight down the throat, we can see some fuzzy things, which are in fact the stamens. So I'm going to take one, well, this one here is chopped up, so it's perfect. And I'm going to start an entirely different sheet of paper. We can put that one aside because it's done. And got to remind myself to draw big, so I'm going to kind of set the bounds of my flower like so, right? So now I know where the limits are, and I'm going to draw
one big petal here. It kind of goes like that, and then out and around. Oh, I should have gone bigger. And there's another one there. There is a little bit of a stem or something sticking back there. And that one goes out and around, and back, and up. This one's not turning out quite as good as the last one, I don't think. Alright, now this one's going to come out, way out. Kind of has a dimple in it there, and back up. And then there's another one over here. Kind of does that. It goes around, sort of a point, curves up, and kind of runs straight up. Not the most symmetrical flower ever. And then we have the lower lip petal, which has kind of a point on it like that. Alright, And then what we see, I'm going to take that piece off right there for clarity. I see a lot of lines radiating out on this lower lip, and those are nectar guides. Now I draw little fuzzies, and I kind of want to get a better look at them. They're kind of pointing in from the outside. So if I draw that, then basically there they are. I'm going to flip that over and take a look at it. Yeah, that's just the rear of the flower. So again, petal, only have to label one really. And just to move things around, I'm going to do, really there's a lot more of these fuzzy things, but it'll get pretty cluttered if I fill it in too much. And draw a line to a line, that's tricky. I'm going to go like that. Stamen. Alright, and then this, sticking out the back, is actually part of the carpel. Or is it? Let me take a look. No, it's really the rear end of a sepal. So we're going to call that sepal. And we're going to put all the same stuff on it. And the date. And this is, what would you call this view of the flower? Straight down the throat, that's not very technical. Into the corolla. The corolla is all of the petals, right? And this is again, Viola sororia. And I'll leave out the common name because we've got that in the last one. And I still need to put a scale on it.
So I'll get my little handy measuring device. And it turns out the width of the bottom two petals is 2 centimeters again. And I can do it that way. I could do it a lot of different ways. You know, really, I'm going to do it a different way, just so that you'll know. Alright, so what should be 2 centimeters measures 13. So if I go 6.5 and make a mark there, that's actually 1 centimeter in real life. So we can look really cool. It makes more sense to have a 1 centimeter scale than a 2 centimeter scale, right? Alright, so ta-da! Drawing number 2 done. Now the dissection. And I'm going to use a razor. Who am I going to use? Several different potential victims here. Maybe I will take this one. What I'm going to try to do is divide the flower right down the middle because the carpel is in there and that's where the ovules are. And I really want to get a view of the ovules. And there we have it, which is not too bad. Now I have this old magnifier here. It's not the best in the world. No, I may have missed it. Are they in there? Well, I'm really missing my dissecting microscope right now. I do have some good illustrations that I'll put on the on this page. Alright, so there it is. Now we've cut the flower in half. So this will be the dissected view. And how am I going to do this? Alright, so I'm going to try to draw my limits out here, here.
And I'll draw this petal coming in and this thing curling around. And there's another petal that I can see from behind. Now, this one is pretty thin in its side view. And there it kind of ends. And here we have all those little fuzzy stamens, alright? And then right here is where the carpel begins, and there's these little orange bracts that really don't do anything, but they form a boundary around the top of the carpel. And the stigma sticks out here, and there's the style, and then it goes back to form the ovary, and then inside the ovary, if you're really lucky, you'll see ovules.
Now I'm going to try a trick that might work. If you have one of those little macro attachments to your phone, this might work really well, but I'm going to get as close as I can to where it'll still focus. Now this camera has a pretty good zoom function, pretty good macro mode. I'm going to photograph it And now that I have a picture of it, I can just blow that up. Oh, look at those beautiful ovules in there. Oh yeah, baby. Those are the ovules, those little doohickeys right there. And then you can see the style, and the stigma might be on the other half. I think it got chopped off, but it's definitely there. So, hey, it works.
So you can do the macro mode on your phone camera, and it acts just like a magnifying glass. So there we have the major parts of our plant. Now it's the labeling time. And how am I going to do this? I guess I need to finish up my little drawing here, which kind of goes like that. And those will be stamens. And that is stigma, style. And we'll leave some room here, and I'll do, that's ovary or ovary wall. Don't really care. And then ovule. And I'm not done yet because this is a petal. I should have drawn a straighter line than that. And there's a tiny bit of sepal in here, but I'm just going to leave that out for clarity. So there we have the final drawing. And to finish it up, gotta have our critical information here. An unambiguous date, right? And this is dissected EU, Viola, Sororia, and now we need to do the scale again. So if I'm looking at the whole thing's about 2 centimeters across. So again, if I do the trick where I draw a line there, I'm going to be smart this time and draw just a very faint line there, measure them. So it's a nice easy one. 17.5 centimeters is 2 centimeters in real life. Divide by 2, that's 8.5, 8.75 centimeters, which is about there. So let's erase that one for good measure. And this will be our 1 centimeter scale bar, which you can see like so.
So there we have it. That is the entirety of the Flower Power Lab, all in one quick lesson.